Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody is having an amazing weekend so far. Welcome back to the second Sunday swing. So, just a little reminder of how we do these streams. We're going to go over a little bit of some of the trades from last week. We're actually going to be covering one of the trades that I gave you guys in the stream that we did last Sunday that played out really, really perfectly last week as well. So, congratulations to everybody that was able to take advantage of it. Then, we'll talk a little bit about the broad market, kind of what we're seeing right now, what we could expect to see going into this week. But then I have three more really, really awesome, potentially firepower. Or I mean, that's probably not the right word for it, but the like a multi-hundred or multi-thousand percenter coming in, maybe in one of these three tickers that we're gonna go over. So before we get into all of that, guys, if you guys wouldn't mind dropping a like on these streams here, costs you nothing to do it, helps me out a whole lot in getting these streams out so we can help people really start to see some of these awesome setups start firing off in the market so they can then potentially make money for themselves. Then at the end, obviously, we'll do a little bit of a Q&A for those of you guys that do have any questions, either about the private community, what we covered here, anything about the broad market, things like that. So let's get into it. So, first things first, ladies and gentlemen, DJT. This was an absolutely phenomenal setup that we were able to take advantage of last week. Now, we actually entered this one not last Friday, but the Friday before, towards the end of the day on Friday. I forget what the exact date was, but it wasn't this past Friday. It was the Friday before. Now, what did we end up see out of this one? Well, obviously, once we got this break, our entries were right around the 1658 area. We went very, very quickly up to that first take profit area at around 19. So if you're thinking about risk to reward here, and this was a shares trade for me, that was about a 1 to 3 risk to reward to the first take profit there. The second one that I had was right around this 21 area here. And then I actually moved a stop up to about 20, ended up getting the rest of my position taken off around here. Still really, really solid trade, but I know a lot of you guys were continuously holding. We had that 25 area that you guys were able to take advantage of for about a 1 to 11 risk to reward trade here. Again, these types of trades, guys, it makes it a lot easier, especially for beginners to start to find success because you don't need very many of these in order to significantly increase your margin for error. When you're day trading, when you're taking these setups, when there's all sorts of crazy things going on all at once, your margin for error is very, very, very small. You make a mistake, it's going to be very hard to get that money back. With this, it makes it a lot easier. Slow it down, the moves are bigger, and you're able to capitalize a lot better as well. And I think some people are still holding this one. So this was a great one. We also had Team Atlassian. Now, this was not one that I was in, and I'll go over kind of the reasons why I wasn't in this one. It wasn't because I didn't like the setup. I actually really wanted to be in this setup, just in terms of what we were looking at for the CPI and the data that we had coming out. Towards the second half of last week, I had to manage my risk. I already had snow in some other open positions. I didn't then need to, I didn't see the reason and didn't think it would be smart to also take on this trade as well. Obviously, this one ended up playing out perfectly as well. This was another multi-hundred percenter for everybody. But the one that I gave you guys last week on the stream, we had three tickers that we talked about. I believe it was GLD, RKLB, and Snow. So GLD never came up to the level that we were looking to buy over. We never got that break. Gold actually came down, came back up towards the end of the week. So it might be something that I look for over the next couple of weeks here, but probably not. RKLB was one that we talked about on the private live stream on Monday, where it was gapping and coming up to that level that we were interested in buying. After it gapped and sold off, I then kind of told everybody, I was like, this is not really going to be one that I'm all that interested in anymore. Just because it kind of looked like it wanted to make a slow grind up and not necessarily that burst of a move. But we did have snow. Snow was unbelievable. So when we're looking at this chart here, this reminded me again, we talked about the Nike idea, the Airbnb idea, where you start to form these bases at these lows. And when you can break out of them, these moves can be very significant. Now, the level that we were actually looking at on the free stream, the last Sunday swing stream was this right here. It was about 116.59. Now, this again was the Friday candle that we saw, and we did not see Monday or Tuesday's candle yet, obviously. So that level right there, we were still interested in. And if you were able to take advantage of this move over that 116.59 area, good for you. You still made some money. You were probably still able to make it free. But on the private streams with the Discord, what we were talking about was what I like to call like the setup within a setup, which happened. I think it happened a different time this past week as well, but this is the best example of this. So we have this larger setup that we're looking at in here where we're forming this nice base at these lows. And if you start to break above it, you could see a very significant move, which is obviously what we saw. But can we pinpoint it a little bit more? Yes, we can. This was the setup within a setup. We saw a nice significant move to the upside, nice consolidation and convergence into the daily 10 EMA here. And then we were able to actually get into this move on the break of 115. So about $1.70 earlier. So that is another one of the benefits, obviously, of making sure that, again, everybody gets 50% off their first month to the Discord. It comes out to $1 a day. We can talk a little bit more about that later if you guys have questions, but that is one of the things that's really helpful, that if I come on these streams and we identify the level as 116.70, well, throughout the week, if there's a better level that I like that we could easily get a better entry on, well, obviously I'm going to tell everybody that. So that's what we were able to do here. Great trade. There were probably a couple of others in there from last week. I know Jackie nailed the Palantir for over 1,400%. That's an unbelievable move there. We called that one out right before, I believe it was NFP, non-farm payrolls. So again, I'm not going to be able to be in all of these trades because there are a lot of them that do fire off all at once. Just again, I have to manage the risk. I can't go into every single trade. I just got to pinpoint which ones I like. But wasn't Snow. Snow was awesome. DJT was awesome. We had a couple of other really good trades this week as well. But let's get into some of the trades that we're looking at for this week. Then we can go and do a little bit of a Q&A. I'm going to give you 3 tickers. And then we'll wrap it up. Just make sure you guys have some good stuff, good setups going into this week. And again, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button, costs you nothing to do it, helps me out a whole lot, getting these streams out to some more people. Amazing trade, Ian. Yes, it was. And yeah, quickly before we get into that, again, the 50% off code to hop into the Discord is bullish. You guys get both the educational courses, all the private live streams, all of the watch lists, which I am updating every single day if I do find new setups, all the private streams. I do have a macro research report coming out for you guys today at some point. I got to finish it up. That's in there as well. You guys see the results all the time on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, with everybody making money. There is really only one place that you guys need to be if you want to have long-term success trading in these markets. So if you're interested, the link is at the top of the live chat there. So let's talk about the first setup. First setup's Facebook. So what are we seeing on this? Well, we see a very, very nice push to the upside here. Facebook is, I believe these are all-time highs too. Yeah, so we're looking at a potential all-time high breakout setup here on Facebook. So nice push to the upside. We are now consolidating and converging onto this daily 10 EMA. If we can hold here, and obviously this is going to be dependent on if the market is going to hold up this week, which it easily could, or it could start moving to the downside. We don't know. We just have to be able to identify which of these stocks are the ones that could make very significant moves. So Facebook here, we have a very nice period of consolidation using the daily 10 EMA as support. I really would like to see a couple of more days of consolidation on this. So right now I have this level right here, 594.71. I could see an argument to be made for taking a starter position above Friday's high here at about 591. But ideally what I would want to see is a couple of days where you chop around like right in here, form a new kind of range of consolidation. Let me see if I can draw this out for you guys. Where do we do that? I don't know, but you chop around in here a little bit, then you could actually get this break, and you could really make an argument for this being the key breakout level and not 594.71 there. So that's the first one. What would I be looking at here? Again, with all of these trades, you can trade them with shares, you can trade them with options. We have a lot of people now that are in there trading with shares. And again, you got to make sure that you're using the equation I teach you in the course to make sure that you're buying the correct amount of shares in order to get the proper risk on the trade that you want in order to fully capitalize on it. So 2 to 3 weeks out on options for these expirations. Usually it's about 2 weeks. So if we're in this week's trading week, I'll usually go for the next week expirations. But it depends on what we're looking at. But that's like 90% of what I'm doing. So what would I be looking at here for strikes? Well, if we were to break around here, 591, 594.71, I'd probably look at something like the 610, 615, 620s. That's probably where I would be looking for Facebook on those strikes if I were to trade this with options, which Facebook would be one that I would trade with options. So In terms of trade management, you guys know how I like to manage these. Make the position free. So selling half or more of the position at about 100 to 150% gains, taking my initial investment back plus some profits, and then hunting further targets. When I see these all-time high breakouts like this, I'm usually going to be hunting round psychological levels. So, I mean, right here we have 600. You can target that, but you're still not breaking the all-time high. So, 605, 610, 615, 620. Those $5 increments could end up being areas of resistance as you get into price discovery land once you break that all-time high. That snow trade was insane. It was. It was. It was. So, yeah, that one was one we gave out for free. So, yeah, shout out to all you guys that are making money with these. Again, I like coming on, giving you guys a couple of these free setups so you guys can make some money. And then once you're ready, hop into the best trading community in the space right now. I mean, we're growing really fast. The amount of success that you guys are having when you initially come into is just awesome to see. So, keep up the good work, guys. Seeing your guys' growth has been just unbelievable. So, let's move on to the next setup there. And again, with position sizing, it's options. I'm never going to be risking more than 1 to 2% of my entire account on any given trade. Next trade here, McDonald's. Now, this one has been a little tricky. I actually tried this one earlier on last week. Ended up getting stopped out on it, but that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to nail every single one of them. All of the stop outs that I have in the losing trades that I do end up taking like a tiny fraction of what the gains on the winning trades are. And that's what you really need to focus on in order to have long-term trading success is minimizing the losers, maximizing the winners. So what are we seeing here? Obviously, very similar setup. We see nice movement to the upside. You've respected this daily 10 EMA on the way up here. You're still kind of doing that in here. You have a nice period of consolidation. And you also, if we zoom in here a little bit, you almost have a little bit of a double top here, right around this 305.75 area on McDonald's. That level right there would be one that I am interested in getting long over. Again, would most likely be trading options on this as well. That would be trading options. I don't think there's really an argument to be made for me with the ability to trade options, to trade shares on this move here. But again, you guys that are trading shares, you can definitely take advantage of that with shares. It's the same thing. And a lot of the time, the risk to reward ends up being better with shares than options. So, for those of you guys that are like, oh, I can't trade options, it's like, well, a lot of the time you're actually in a better risk to reward position than with options. It's just the ones that really run with options go pretty crazy. So, it also we talk about it in the courses. We don't have to go through all of that now. So, if we do end up breaking above this level this week, I would look to get long. Again, same thing, 2 to 3 weeks of expiration. So if we're in this week's trading week, I'd probably go for next week's expiration on the contracts. What would I be targeting here? Again, another all-time high breakout here. So I'd probably be looking for something like a 310, 315, 312, right around there for the strikes on this McDonald's move here. If we do see this type of rotation into like large cap value names, which is possible, especially after what we saw with slightly higher than market expectations for CPI and PPI. That could be a new kind of shift in rotation that we do see in the market. And McDonald's would be a name that we could absolutely take advantage of if the money is going to flow into names like that, which it probably will. All right. Don't think we have any questions so far. Pretty simple. And then let's do the last one here. Last one's Apple. This is an interesting setup. I really do like this. Again, a lot of these names do have earnings coming up in the near future, so you do have to be careful of that. TradingView does, though, have this nice feature where it does show you where the earnings are. So you don't have to like pull up a chart, go look somewhere else. It is nice to have this on TradingView here. So again, same setup. Nice move to the upside. You're starting to consolidate above this daily 10 EMA, and we have a nice area here where we could easily see if Apple can get above. It's basically this. It's right around 230 that we could easily make a push up into these highs here. Now, the key thing to look out for at this area here is we have 4 times where we have tested this 233 area and aggressively sold off from. So you have it right here, aggressively sold off from the one time before it ended up popping back up. Then you have 1, 2, 3 times right here where Apple failed to get above this area here. So this is going to be one that you have to be a little bit careful of. If we see this break of around 230, it ends up being at 233. If I start to see price struggle around this area, it's very possible that if I'm in this trade, I will just cut the position lock in maybe a nice little base hit there. If we were to shoot up there pretty quickly, I mean, those would probably still be up 130, 150%. And that would be a really nice trade to be able to take advantage of there as well. So, any questions on what we've covered so far? Lava Gamer, been good. Been good. So those are the setups that we've got for you. So does anybody have any questions? I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. Again, make sure you guys are hitting that like on the way in. Helps out a whole lot spreading these streams out. We're going to be doing these every single Sunday. And then I'm also live for free for you guys on every single Friday as well. Other than that, we're always live privately for you guys in the Discord there. But these are the types of trades that are firing off all the time. You guys have been really taking advantage of them. You guys have seen the all the stories I've been posting, the Instagram and TikTok videos with the trades that we've been calling out. Like even on Twitter, I like to highlight some of your guys' gains, and the reviews have been awesome as well. Seeing what the gains and the what we've done with less trades, more profits, and what it means to you guys, the gains that you're making, the strategy and the tools and the skills that you now have has been unbelievable. Those all look great. Yeah. Pins and Roku. I like pins. I have that one. Roku, I don't think I have. I might. I actually might still have Roku. I think I do actually. That one I might cut though. Roku's been a little bit of a yeah, I do still have Roku. That one's been a little bit of a finicky name, so we'll see if it can get that move. Netflix was kind of dragging it down on Friday, but we'll see. You don't plan any short on DJT or crypto stocks like Riot? I mean, we talk about like the parabolic short setups, and then usually all of like the shorts are hedges. So think about it like this. We talked about this a lot. I have a whole webinar in the Discord where I talk about hedging, how I do it, why I do it, when I do it. And that's typically around times where there's lots of data and I'm in setups that look really good, and I just want to make sure that I'm hedging the data release. That's it. Do I recommend having a smaller live account around 500 to 1,000 or having a funded one? If you're day trading, I would go the funded account route. But again, everybody needs to be, if you want to really start turbocharging and speeding up your path to success in the market, you need to put a heavier emphasis on swing trading over day trading. It's something that everybody in Less Trades More Profits has realized, and the gains that they have seen. You can just ask. I mean, you guys can say like your experience in here and what you have noticed about your trading from switching your focus more so to swing trading over day trading, what that's done for your performance over however long you've been in there with me. But again, day trading is good, but you're going to have a lot faster, easier, simpler success, quicker success with swing trading. And we see it time and time again. But yeah, with that question in particular, I mean, if I would go the funded account route just in that case there. You are talking about swing trading? You there is no swing trading in funded accounts. Not that I know of. Maybe in crypto. Would I short the VIX right now? No. No. That would be silly. But when you hedge your swing trade, embrace your stop loss. Do you keep it hedged or you just cut it? Um, it depends. It depends. So, like, if the long trade hits like the stop area, I cut it. If the hedge is still making money, I'll hold it. Let's see. SMCI we looked at. That's an interesting one, but it's got a lot wrong with it right now. But yeah, I do like this one. We'll be talking about this one a lot more on the stream tomorrow morning with you guys when I come on for you guys in the Discord. So this will be a setup that we talk about this week. I don't think I'm going to trade it, but we could. I mean, this one looks interesting. Looks interesting there. And let's see what else we got here. Yeah, but John, I would not, I would not be shorting the VIX right now. We're looking at Tesla as well. No, I'm not. I'm not really looking at Tesla this week. This was one that when we were looking at Tesla here, somebody brought this up in a private stream, and I initially looked at this and I said, why would I touch that? Like, there's nothing about this setup here that would make me want to long it. It was right in here. And then I looked at this for a second, and it's actually quite funny that most of the time that I do end up hedging, it's with Tesla puts. Because when we go into these big pieces of data, it just so happens that like Tesla's like daily chart setup just hasn't looked good Um, like it just hasn't looked good going into these big data reports. So we've had a couple big ones. There was like a 450% gain on a Tesla put hedge, and my longs actually ended up going up about 450% there too. So this would have actually been one of those examples where the longs would have printed and the Tesla puts would have printed as well for the hedge. I just didn't need the hedge. Like if I also took this trade, the Atlassian trade team, and I had Snow, Team, DJT. Oh, Cart from last week was amazing as well. I don't know if we showed this one to you guys, but yeah, Cart entry right here at 41.18. The plan was to play it up to 45. The stock hits 45.01. Perfect top tick. Any notable earnings coming up this week that you keep an eye on? I use my post earning strategy on earnings. I mean, most of the time, I don't usually play the event. If I do, it's a gamble. I mean, I'm not looking to actually like even with the math that I use and the uh looking at what the market's pricing and seeing if they're what I think if they're right or wrong, it's still a gamble. Like I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, just because I use a little bit of math it makes it so it's I'm going to have now a higher win rate with it. No, it's still a gamble. But I mean, all of the big names, like the bank earnings will be interesting to see. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. KK, yeah, there are Bill's an interesting one. But yeah, you guys in the Discord too have the full list. I believe there's what 8 or 9 total tickers that we're looking at for this week, just going into this week. And then after most trading days, I go through and scan like it probably ends up being about 2,000 stocks, 2,000 stocks a day. I look through for you guys to see what looks really good. If we're going into a big piece of data though, like I don't do it because what's the point? It's gonna mess with charts anyway. And we're gonna find them on stream regardless. Did I cover Intel? No. Ian, so this is a public stream, so I'm not going over everything. I just take 3 of them from the list, 2 or 3 every single week that I'm gonna give to you guys publicly here. And talk through them, what the plan is. So that you guys out there can kind of get a little idea of what we do. And again, you guys saw it play out perfectly on Snow last week. That was a really good one. Uh, let's see, 15 average exited max at 21. John, nice. Yeah, that was a good one. So our entry was like I think it was 1658 was where I got mine. I scaled out at 19, 21, and then the rest of them at 20. So that was a really good one though. Lava Gamer, yeah, future, yeah, prop firms are just for day trading. Prop firms are just for day trading. Hope everyone's had a good weekend. You too, Alvy. We are spoiled in our stream. You guys are very spoiled. Like me coming in and like Pat, we can talk about another one of the trades that we had recently where Palantir. This was one that again, it was right before a piece of data, and I had all the other trades that I needed. So I didn't want to just go over leveraged into these, but yeah, this was another great one. So, Jackie, congratulations to you. This one ended up running about 1,400% the last time we got an update on this one. So, these are the types of trades that we identify that we look for, these really big winners, and they happen a lot more often than everybody thinks. So, that is the main thing I think too is like you guys see like the big like 200%, 300%, 500, 800%, 1,000% gains. You're like, oh, well, since they're such big gains, they must not happen all the time. It's like, well, there are going to be some instances where the market just is like not doing. It's the market conditions aren't great for it. But when the market's hot, they happen. I would say every week, every single week. Yeah, this one was filthy. So again, if you guys haven't hopped in yet, you get your first month for 50% off with code bullish. It comes out to $1 a day. So I'll throw that link in here for you guys in the live chat. And also this stream is going to be up publicly. So we leave these up. If you guys need to go back, rewatch them, get the setups again, you guys are more than welcome to do so. You hope DJT consolidates and carries on from there? It could. The Discord is epic. Ah, there's Jackie. Thank you. Let's see. Yearly stress puzzle. You have what? John. I mean, I can look at it, but you have a short lots on VIX. Maybe hedge it opening. Why are you shorting the VIX right now? I don't necessarily see the argument for that. I think going into an election with middle like the move on it would actually to be to like start like think about it logic. If we're going to be talking about VIX at all, think about the current market conditions. We have reinflation fears moving back up. We have the potential for a massive downward jobs revision. Again, I don't know if I said this, but reinflation fears. We have Middle East tensions going up. We have election. We have markets at the highs. I mean, the move there would actually to be to establish a long VIX position as a hedge. It would not be to start shorting it right now. The only times that I would short the VIX is after a massive spike using the parabolic short setup that I've talked about with you guys a couple of times. That's it. If we're already in, do we need to pay monthly? Christopher, what do you mean? If you're already in the Discord, you're fine. SMH, semiconductor ETF. We can take a look at that tomorrow. Thoughts on Riot? Sure. I wouldn't touch it here, but it doesn't look bearish. Doesn't look bearish. I mean, that could be a pretty strong setup. I also, all right, I'll give you guys another one. Just because I'm not taking it now and it doesn't make sense to do anything, but I am keeping my eye on what the, okay, never mind. I didn't see it did this. I did not see that MicroStrategy was up 16%. So on Friday, I'm not looking at that anymore. But yeah, that one was on my radar as well. I did not know it made that big of a move. That's crazy. Yeah, that's what I meant. No, if you're in, you're good. If you use the code that I gave all the course members, you're good. Peak sitting, all-time high both. So, John, if you see markets trending to the upside, your bet on the VIX is that so VIX is an equation. It's getting its pricing, it's deriving its pricing from the put side of the S&P's option chain. You joined the Discord just today, and I agree with you. It's great. Just today, you went through all the swing course. There you go, Lava Gamer. You're teaching us very valuable information. Yeah, that's what I'm here for, guys. That's what I'm here for. And then also all the macro stuff. So I have that research report. I just got to go through it, edit it, make sure, because I was writing it yesterday, and I was a bit tired yesterday when I was writing it. So I just got to make sure that's good before I send it out to all of you guys. I probably have to add a couple of things to it. It's just an update on the bond market, reinflation fears, and then what we are most likely about to see next. So things are starting to shift. You are seeing those types of fears starting to heat up, and some of the Fed speakers coming out saying certain things. So you just gotta have a good picture of the market. And you guys, I think, have seen this time and time again. I'm always at least one step ahead. When everybody was talking about like yields continuing to move down, going into the FOMC meeting, like I don't agree with that. You guys can go look at those thoughts on my Twitter account though. But yeah, so you guys have any questions? I'll hang around here for another couple of minutes. But yeah, you guys have your setups for this week. Let's have another great week. Let's see what happens with the markets. I think it's gonna be fun. We're getting closer to the election. I think things are going to heat up a little bit in terms of volatility. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Let's see. Overwrite. Yeah, I think. Does your Discord subscription come with the macro newsletter report? Yep. Yeah, that's in there. Yeah, it comes with it. There's also single stock research reports, but the thing is, we haven't done very many. The only one that I've actually like written up, we did have SoFi. We talked about that on the stream. The only one that I've written up fully for everybody was on Philip Morris, and that was when Philip Morris was at about 95. It ran to 126, and then once it started to shift to the downside there, I was like, all right, well, if you want to cut it, by all means. You got nice dividend payment, really good equity appreciation. That was a good one. So, but again, with markets where they are like near the highs, I'm not looking to buy stuff. So it's going to be hard for me to write a single stock research report if I'm myself not looking to buy anything right now. So I am very cash heavy though, especially after yin, the China move that we saw. I'm still in on some yin too. So this is where I sold some yin shares up in here. Then we saw the meeting. Market didn't react positively to it. They did come out this weekend and talk a little bit more about stimulus. So it will be interesting to see how the Chinese markets and stocks start to move this week. But this is the other thing, and probably what I'll leave you guys with if we don't have any other questions. I am not touching any individual Chinese stocks, especially trading options on them for the foreseeable future. The implied volatility on the option chains on all of those is going to make all of those trades not make any sense for the risk to reward. Can we trade them with shares? Sure, maybe. But I will not be touching any options on them. Yin, though, I still have some. So I still have long exposure to China. The secret charts? We don't have secret charts, buddy. This is the chart right here. Simple. Yeah, what was the other one that we were looking at? Win? We can take a look at Win quick. Looks okay, actually. That's not bad. I don't hate that setup. So, again, I'd like to see this consolidate a little bit more. Because you saw this massive move up, pretty big gap down, slow grind up. I want to see a nice tighter range in here. And then, yeah, I would be interested in playing that move. John, you can't. Sorry. You can't. You can ask questions in the Discord about it, but there is no one-on-one. That's very frowned. That's like very borderline illegal. You can't do that. So, but yeah, I mean, if you want to hop in, you want to talk about VIX and kind of my thoughts on it, like, yeah, sure, we'll have that conversation on the streams. Let's see. All right, guys. So I'll throw the link here for you guys to make sure that you guys still have it. The 50% off discount code is bullish. So those of you guys that still need to take advantage of that, that's not going to last for very much longer. And we're going to be going private too. It'll be waitlist only. We're not going to be accepting new members. So for those of you guys that still want to hop in, you got a little bit of time left, but very soon that we're going to be closing it off to the general public. So have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Watch some football if you guys do that. Have some fun. We got a good week ahead, though. There are a lot of epic setups ready to go. Those of you guys that are hopping into the Discord, make sure that you guys take the time to go through the educational courses. And then, obviously, there's more tickers in there for you guys. And if you guys have any questions about levels, what I'm looking for, either just send me a message in there. Don't DM me on Discord. I'm not going to see it. But, yeah, just shoot me a message on there in the general chat or save it for the stream tomorrow. But, yeah. So, team, I will see you guys later. Have an amazing rest of the weekend.